When did you finally stop apologizing for existing? My father found out my mom cheated when I was born with the wrong color eyes. Green, just like the man next door. For 3 generations, everyone in my family had brown eyes. Then there I was, living proof of mom's affair with Mr. Dalton from 2 houses down. When I was 6 months old, Dad made her take a DNA test. He framed the results and hung them in the kitchen so every visitor could see. Not the biological father was printed in bold letters. He stayed in the marriage for appearances, as he told people at church, work, and family events. Always loud enough for me to hear. I grew up without a name in my own home. Dad called me it, that, or the mistake. When mom wasn't around, and sometimes even when she was, he wouldn't speak to me directly. Instead, he'd say to her, "Tell it dinner's ready," or ask it to move its car. Christmas was the worst. He'd give mom expensive jewelry and lavish gifts, while I'd find a $20 bill on the counter with a sticky note for the mistake. Birthdays were the same. I kept every one of those notes in a shoebox under my bed. The Daltons moved away when I was 7. The night before, Dad made me watch from the window as he spray painted "Homewrecker" across Mr. Dalton's driveway. "This is what happens to families because of you," he said. At school events, he made a point of showing up, only to humiliate me. At my middle school graduation, he sat in the back with a newspaper covering his face. When my name was called, he didn't even look up. At parent-teacher conferences, he'd introduce himself as the cheated-on husband and explain my real parentage to my teachers. By high school, I stopped telling him about anything. When I was 14, I needed glasses. Mom was at work, so Dad had to take me. In the waiting room, he announced loudly that I probably needed them because of bad genetics from God knows where. On the way back, he made me sit in the back seat. He said, "I don't want people thinking you're mine." The worst was at 15. I'd been saving money from tutoring math students, hiding it in my locker at school. Dad found out and demanded I give it to him for rent. When I refused, he changed the locks while Mom was away. I slept in the backyard shed for 2 nights before a neighbor called the police. Dad told them I was a runaway who kept sneaking back. Mom came home early and let me in. Later, searching for my birth certificate for my driver's permit, I found a letter in Dad's desk from Mr. Dalton dated a month after I was born. Attached was a $50,000 check for my future, along with a plea to use it for my college. The check had never been cashed. Across it, in red Sharpie, Dad had written, "Return to sender. Keep your guilt money." Senior year, I got into my dream university on a creative writing scholarship. I'd done everything myself: applications, essays, fee waivers. I waited until dinner to share the news, sliding the acceptance letter toward him. He read it, then turned to Mom. "You're not using my information for financial aid. I don't need it. Mr. Dalton's been putting money into an account for me." Mom returned his checks, but he kept the account open anyway. "It's in my name." Dad shot up so fast his chair toppled, he ripped the acceptance letter in half and looked at Mom. "If it goes to that school, you go with it." She cried. He repeated, "Choose your husband or your mistake." She chose him. She always chose him. I left that night with 2 garbage bags of clothes and my laptop. Before I left, I found Mr. Dalton on Facebook. He lived 3 states away, alone. His wife had left after the affair. He'd never remarried, never had other kids. When I called, he cried. "I loved your mother, but I think I loved the idea of you even more. The daughter I never got to know." He helped me figure out my college plans, drove 5 hours to move me into my dorm, visits for Parents Weekend, and calls every Sunday to check in. Mom sends the occasional text, never about anything important. A cousin told me Dad makes her sleep in the guest room now and brings up the affair every single day. He even hung a calendar in the kitchen marking the days since the betrayal. Last I heard, it was at 6,840 days.